suited for its lady, beautiful as a hill. Your princess is a storm, riding on a lion.
Good morning, welcome to Lost for Words. I am Sarah Woods, and today we are going to be exploring in Eduana for the last time. Very sad. And Eduana is a Sumerian high priestess from 2300 BC. She worshipped the moon god and Inanna, the goddess of heaven and earth. Her father tasked her with creating hymns and poetry and song for each god of the land of Acadia and Sumeria so that she could elevate them and bring them together so that they could have peace in their land and that her father could more easily rule the two lands. And Eduana created a masterpiece. She created 42 temple hymns, one to each goddess and god of each temple in each of the cities. And they're really amazing. These are written on clay tablets where the words were pressed into the clay with the edge of a reed. It's fascinating because each of these temple hymns shows off a little bit of the personality of the god or goddess in that city. And they say things like, I'm gonna get my little book here. One temple has a great banqueting hall where pure food is eaten. Another one has no light that enters it and it's tightly constructed. Another one inspires awe and dread. Another one, the wonder coming from you is like the sun whose glow spreads. Another arouses terror like a great horned viper. Another, your interior is deep, your exterior is tall, great lion. So as you go through these temple hymns, you start to get an idea of the personalities of the gods and goddesses in these cities, in these temples. But today we're going to focus on the city of Kinurka, or maybe Kinursia. It says, "O house Kinurka," and the goddess of this temple, and this temple has a goddess, female, and her name is Dumuzid Abzu. And this is a really, really beautiful hymn I'm going to share with you. So let's go ahead and read it really quickly. It says, "O house Kinurka, suited for its lady, beautiful as a hill, standing by the ziggurat, house, place resounding with happiness, house, your princess is a storm, riding on a lion, exalted in holy song and antiphony, singing with a loud voice, the child, the true wild cow, taken care of at the holy breast of the mother who begot her. Dumuzid Abzu has erected a house in your precinct, O shrine Kinurka, and taken her seat upon your dais." I love this description of this temple. It's so beautiful. There's something very feminine and powerful about it, which is really cool. It starts off, "O house Kinurka." So this temple is suited for its lady, and it's as beautiful as a hill. So you start to conjure images of beautiful hills, and that this house is perfect for the woman that inhabits it. And it says, standing by the ziggurat house, place resounding with happiness. I love that image, that feeling that it kind of like fills your body up with when you read that, resounding with happiness. To imagine a building or a temple or a home that is resounding with happiness, you imagine something that is warm and bright, where there's laughter, where there's smiling, where there's ease, where there's honesty, where there's playfulness. So it's a place that you're like, oh, I'd like to go to that place. So it's suited for its lady, beautiful as a hill, and it's resounding with this happiness. And then it says, your princess is a storm riding on a lion. I love this image because there's something very feminine conjured up in your mind. As soon as you hear the word princess, you think feminine. And sometimes when you hear the word princess, for me, I immediately think of some like dainty, fragile, pathetic, bossed around kind of woman, but really and silent, just doing what everybody wants and having to have like perfect etiquette and blah, blah, blah. But here we have, it says princess. And so we've got feminine, but then it says your princess is a storm. So all of a sudden you've got with this princess, this powerful wind, this dark, fierce, thundering, lightning, wind, rain. There's something powerful joined together with this princess. And then it says, your princess is a storm riding on a lion. And to me, that image is, I don't know, it just makes me really happy. It's really, the thought that something feminine can be that unpredictable and powerful and like ferocious and fierce and powerful as a lion, like all that together is sort of mind-blowing for me. It's really a beautiful picture. Then it says, exalted in holy song and antiphony, singing with a loud voice. So then we have this, I don't know if this is an Edgewana singing with a loud voice or if this is the goddess singing with a loud voice. But then it says, the child, the true wild cow. I love that phrase. And Edgewana uses it quite a bit in her descriptions of goddesses because they really valued the unpredictable animal in the herd, which I think is awesome. Especially like with cows, you think of them sort of herding everywhere together in fences. And so you have this one cow that's like, not going to follow the rules. Then it says, taken care of at the holy breast of the mother who begot her. So this goddess that resides in this temple, that's worshipped at this temple, not only is she princess, a fierce storm, riding a lion, you get the idea that she was like nurtured from the ground up, from the moment of birth, that she had another fierce feminine presence that nurtured her into being, which is really beautiful. And then it says Dumuzid Abzu, which is the goddess, I believe, and she is known for power of fertility and new life in the marshes, which I love that phrase. I love imagining these marshlands where most of the time people don't want to go there because it's such a wild kind of place and like all this life that's growing there. But Dumuzid Abzu, this goddess, has erected a house in your precinct. So this feminine, fierce goddess has erected a temple, has erected a house for herself in Kanurka. And it says, O shrine Kanurka, and taken her seat upon your dais. So this goddess has taken her seat, and a dais is like an elevated platform. So you can see this goddess, like her presence has like filled up this house and enveloped this house. And she has taken her seat, and she's ready to do whatever goddesses do. Back in Sumeria. One of the things I loved about reading these temple hymns, or sort of like combing through them and reading this temple hymn, was it made me think about my own life, and it made me think about I grew up in a very like Christian environment where there was sort of this belief that our bodies were like temples, and that, we were made in the image of God, like that there is some kind of interaction between humans and God, where God, his presence resides in us, and that like our belief in God causes like a river to flow out of us. Like there's this idea of God's presence being in us, and we are the temples. So it made me think like about how in Eduana she was able to write such different hymns for each of these gods, and but it made me think about humanity and how different people are, how like every single person is this beautiful creation, this beautiful unfolding of skin and bones, eyes and mouth, a voice. We all sing differently. We all laugh at different things. We are drawn to, different hobbies and different work and different ways of playing and different ways of dressing. And I don't know, when you start to think about humanity and like how we all have different thumbprints or fingerprints, it starts to make you, if you think about people as temples, it's kind of, to me, it was like a beautiful picture of like, in Eduana was like trying to elevate these gods, to worship these gods. But to me, there's something about knowing that we're all that kind of unique, and that there could be like something divine about God in each of us, that expression comes out different, like each of Eduana's poems, or her songs. And to me, there's something very like, not necessarily elevating about that, like elevating each person to worship him, but there's something kind of humbling about that, like that brings people down to earth, and that is like, oh, and it makes you sort of, if you think about each person as a temple of something, of the divine, of God's presence, and it's being expressed so uniquely in each of us, it kind of makes you, or it kind of makes me look at people and be like, oh, I'm like, how is God expressed through you? Like, what's unique about you? I don't know. And it just sort of makes looking at people very fun and interesting and beautiful. So when Eduana finished these, she told her king, she said, "My king, I have created something that has never been created before." So here in Eduana, she knew that she had created something really magnificent when she created all these temple hymns for these gods and goddesses. She's the first woman poet, the first woman that we have to sign her name with her work. And I'm so excited for, I've heard that there's like thousands of like clay tablets out there that haven't even been translated yet that we found from Sumeria. So it's kind of exciting to think that maybe there's more of Eduana's work out there. I just hope that eventually we get to have a complete works of Eduana, that somebody will create it so that I can buy it. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you again next time.